What is happening? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday. You're still muted for me, I think.
What?
I hit the command to unmute myself. It did not unmute me. Welcome to this episode of the Professionals, Dustfire Media, Scum, and Villainy actual play. Danny, what's making you laugh right now? What's making you laugh
Just the
right
conundrums, just the conundrums and shenanigans that we get into week
Yeah?
by week.
now? Yeah?
It's really tickling him right now.
Yeah.
I'm watching you, Danny. I think you're laughing at me.
Never.
Never.
That was the least convincing thing you've ever said.
Well, the joke's on you. I like being laughed at. I like people thinking I'm funny.
He's into
In-
that shit.
Intentionally or
laughing at
unintentionally.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm not
He's
laughing with
aroused
you.
by
I am
humiliation.
I'm laughing
I'm
for
not.
you.
I'm not aroused by humiliation. Don't go spreading those lies. I'm good. I'm feeling good myself. How about the rest of you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm feeling here.
Great. I'm glad
It's
you're
actually a great summary, Johnny. I also am feeling here.
We are present. Yeah.
That's all I ask. All I ask is that you show up and you're present in the scene.
Yeah.
And for yourself. Be present for yourself.
Bigger ask. But
I can at least
It
promise
is.
to be present for the scene.
I prefer
Why don't
not to be
we-
present for this game?
Why don't we do this? Why don't we practice being present for ourselves by being present in the scene?
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll consider it.
Okay, all right.
Improv is just a metaphor for life.
What is life but
I-
not the greatest? The greatest improv. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Might be.
I don't know about you guys, but I am making this up as I go along.
Oh, life? For sure.
Speaking of
Sometimes
life,
it feels like everybody but me got handed a script.
Oh no!
you're just the improv. Speaking
Everyone
of
but
life,
us got handed a script. That's how it is.
it's interesting you bring up life because I was thinking of this question a couple weeks ago, and I realized I don't think we've talked about it. Do you think that there is life out there?
In the universe? other
How
than
far
Earth?
out there? Because like Staten
Outside of
Island,
Wisconsin?
Staten Island is out there for sure. Yeah.
It's a ways away from me right now. But
Is
I
there
think-
really
I think
life
there's
on
probably
Staten
life.
Island, though?
Is there really life? Can we point to it?
Well, I guess the question also becomes, if we're talking about Staten Island, intelligent life or just life? Like,
Yes. Yes.
Dang.
I think obviously colloquially we were talking about the galaxy, outer space.
yeah,
Other galaxies. I do think, I think Johnny brings up an interesting point, right? Is there life out there? The answer to that is yes, right? We
Yeah.
found life out there, but
we
forget
found
in what form.
microorganisms on both asteroids and Mars at this point.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's something out there that's alive. Is there intelligent proof of? For sure.
Proof of previous
Like
life, right?
fossilized-
Like a
I think it's like
fossilized
fossilized
microorganism.
Yeah.
microorganisms,
The microorganisms they found on asteroids were alive. Not just
That's
proof of life.
crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine just eking out your existence on an asteroid? Like,
So,
I'm just going to slide over
yeah.
here today.
Just from a numbers game, statistically, in our own galaxy, there are like millions of planets, and the likelihood that not one of them, not even like a different form of life, like literally not a single planet in the rest of just our galaxy, didn't have the same exact conditions as Earth to form life in the same exact way is actually pretty high, like pretty astronomical odds for it not to happen. And
Yeah.
then considering that there are then countless galaxies in our
Yeah.
greater universe,
Yeah.
it's impossible that there isn't life.
For sure.
Oh, well, we already know that there's life, but it's impossible that there isn't
Intelligent
even
life.
Intelligent life.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm waiting
Yeah.
for
I mean, I
Danny's
think that the
dumb answer
only-
to this question.
he formulates his dumb answer. This is his real answer. I feel like personally, the only way, and I think that there's some statistics that like bear this out. The only way that there's not intelligent life elsewhere in the universe is if we are in fact in a simulation and it just wasn't programmed that way.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Simulation.
To be fair, though, for those of you who, immediately falling into an existential crisis, let me tell you, I do think that recently we did detect signals that almost certainly have to be artificial for the first time in a long time.
Okay.
So, like with the SATA array, we actually.
Which, to be fair, finding intelligent life does not mean that it's not a simulation. It just means that there's intelligent life.
I'm just saying
also
that helps a little bit. Maybe the simulation is a bit more.
You don't need to fall into dread.
It's a cooler simulation, right?
It's a way kick-ass simulation.
There's aliens in this one. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sick. This one has aliens.
This isn't extraterrestrial life, but I was just reading an article the other day. It's like kind of related that for the first time in I like a really, really long time, like I think the third time in like all of Earth's existence, 2 life forms combined at like the microcellular level. And I think the last time that happened, like there's some like big thing that like the last time it happened is like what gave rise eventually to like people coming about. So like people saw that and they're like, holy shit, like what is this gonna do? I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, I mean that's probably how we got from single-celled organisms to multicellular organisms. Started working together.
Yeah. I mean, like even now, anything that is alive and multicellular is also like a microbiome. Like you're full of other living stuff.
Yeah.
I'm popping it in the chat.
Like each human being is more properly thought of as a collection of organisms.
For the first time, this is the article title. For the first time in 1 billion years, 2 life forms truly merged into one organism.
Cool.
He's talking about
you
true love.
You guys ever think about those
Your mom and your
jellyfish?
dad, you bunch of perverts.
This is just scientist porn.
This is just a weird birds and the bees talk.
Anyways, you guys ever think about that jellyfish that is functionally immortal?
No.
Isn't there multiple?
I didn't know about it, so I don't
jellyfish
think
that are
about it.
Functionally immortal.
There are a lot of species that come close, but there's only one that is like considered by science, and I'm not really sure what the distinction is, to be immortal. In that when it reproduces, it doesn't really reproduce. It just like it doesn't mitosis. Somehow it's different than just like splitting itself, but it basically does that, and it's considered the same life form by scientists for I don't really understand why. But yeah, it's a jellyfish that is considered to be immortal.
I'm looking at that now. That's wild.
What's it called? I don't. There's like something Genesis where it basically like impregnates itself and is essentially cloning itself to give birth.
Yeah, it's kind of doing that, but it's I think it's different in somewhat. Even if it's just like taxonomy, I'm not really sure. But they say that it's different and that it's actually just immortal. So it's like a life cycle that's a circle for one creature, basically.
It's literally going from like sexually mature cells, and then when it breaks off, they're sexually mature. And it's like creating, like it just keeps cycling. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
If you're a taxonomist, get in our comments and tell us what we're saying wrong about this.
Yeah. This is almost the opposite, but it makes me think about how like scientists don't know really like where eels come from or what their full life cycle looks like.
I know, it's really funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious to be alive in this day and age and not know.
Yeah, there's a distinct possibility, like a genuine possibility, that every species of eel is just another phase in the eel's life cycle.
Yeah, we have no idea.
And that there is not different eels. They are just different aged eels.
Maybe it's just a single eel.
It's just one mass
It's
collection.
a hive mind.
One single eel organism.
Eel hive mind.
They're going to get us. They're going to get us. For those
Eventually.
Unagi.
Isn't that interesting how we started talking about space and what little we know of that, and then we start talking about what little we know of our world's ocean.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
aliens
That's
that live
Depths,
right
the
there.
depths of what little I know is limitless. There's
Yeah.
so many things I know very little about.
Yeah.
That's everybody.
This is obviously, like, I feel like obviously a little bit of a misnomer, but there is that like thing that goes around where people talk about how like there's a certain percentage we know about space and a lower percentage that we know about the ocean
The
on
ocean,
Earth.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's kind of a misnomer though, because like
it's
Because
it's
like,
a
space
little
is so
infinite.
fucking big. Like, how can we know
Yeah.
how much we know about space?
well,
But-
technically, we know the size of the universe. We can calculate that based on several things.
Yeah, but until we can observe the whole thing, you can't say definitively that we know
No, it's true.
what
Yeah.
percentage. Like,
I
Like, for example,
No.
there's a very defensible active theory that we are currently, all of us, inside of a certain part of the event horizon of a black hole. You know what I mean? And it's just like,
yeah,
there's just some large scale fundamental, like, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff we have to sort out.
I'll know that when my planet gets sucked into the black hole and I shoot out the other side.
Yeah, you.
That's right.
That's
That's what I'll
okay.
know.
I
Anyways,
don't know if it's
taking this back to life. I don't know if you guys.
No, we're
knew
done.
this.
We got to play Scum and Villainy.
Oh man. That's the last one.
I want to hear what Nick had to say.
You
No,
have
no,
Nick.
Scum.
You have 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. The first form of pseudo life on the planet was a microorganism, but it wasn't truly a microorganism, but basically just shit out rocks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No,
That's all it
no
did.
follow-up questions. No follow-up questions.
So
I
chickens.
knew
Well,
that.
Rock shit. Rock shit.
Look at all these chickens.
Speaking of rocks, you are on Slice's junkyard, which I think is on an asteroid, right, Nick? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is correct. It's kind of like
Good place
within
to
an
be.
asteroid belt. It's on a larger asteroid itself.
Of course. So, speaking of rocks, last episode on the professionals, you enacted a very, very dangerous hyperspace jump in the middle of a cosmic hyperspace storm as you were trying to rescue Slice out from House Malcleeth, and you did it. It could have been real bad, and you eked that one out. I don't know how we keep making every job feel just as dangerous as the last one somehow. But we did.
Threat of death and harm
I
There we go.
credit the GM.
pretty
That's it.
consistently.
Consistent bad decision making.
Well, that's
not
there
bad
too.
decision-making. And isn't that the most relatable thing for anyone listening to this? I know I relate to that. You landed on the planet of Amaranth, had a little bit of downtime. Graves made a new friend whose name is Ava. Is that right?
Oh, it sounds close. Let me make sure.
Era Blaze.
Era Blaze.
Praxis made a new
Hey.
friend too.
That sounds like a,
also
sounds like a Game of Thrones character.
Praxis also made a new friend as well. Some of you field
Ara Blaze.
Ara Blaze. I think I was listening back to it. I think Praxis still has a downtime action, and I think Gears still has a downtime action. Is that correct? I think Graves and Dr. Nevin used up both
yes.
of theirs.
Yes. Yeah. I do. I definitely do have another good
Okay.
time action.
Dr. Nevin, I know you recovered. What was did you recover twice, right?
I recovered, and then I just sort of explored and talked to the, what are they called?
You trained.
Like the
that's right.
seers. I
trained.
trained. I
Yes,
talked
you
to the
trained. Okay. Yep.
local
So
people
Gears,
here to learn about their methods of
That's right.
medical practice.
Gears and Practice are the ones that still have a downtime action. But you left Amaranth to go drop Slice off at his junkyard. It is there that a collections agency met you. And as all hyperspace engines are technically owned by and maintained by the Starsmith Guild, they have sent this collection agency to collect your hyperspace engine. That is the entanglement
Hey,
that we rolled after your job. You do need that.
We do.
It is kind of important.
It is.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
And you said that we could. They basically like we can pay them off or
yeah, you've
Like
got
them.
you've got a few options. You can pay them 2 cred.
Okay.
You could just give them the component, or you can make them leave another way.
Mhm.
What are we looking at in
Almost
terms of
certainly-
ship cred right now?
Not have consequences.
2 cred.
2 cred. I mean, I'm more flush than the ship right now. I'll
Woohoo!
Dude,
Well, all right, our boys are rolling in it apparently.
you got stacks on stacks.
no. I'm saying I'll put 1 cred if somebody else will put a cred in.
My dude over here was banking with Quantic. That's what I'm saying.
I'm broke, so I can't do that.
I may have money. Did I cash in? Let me see. Money.
As we talk about like
I do not
putting
have
in money,
I stashed
putting
it
in
all.
money between our group, Dr. Nevin just sort of like steps back with his arms like sort of like crossed.
I have 3 cred and 3 stash, so I'm not doing poorly. Yeah, I'll just pay them off. I'll do it.
Wait, I mean, we could do a cred from the ship if you want.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, let's do that.
that seems fair.
And we should bear this in mind so that on some future occasion, it's not Praxis who pays the debt.
Yeah, it's not really fair.
It's
I like
kind
to
of
think
it-
we're
this kind
we're
of his
hashing
MO,
this out,
though.
and they're the 2 officials
just
are just
standing
in
there.
front of
They're
us.
like-
Yeah, they're just there.
Yeah.
Just awkward like.
Yeah, we're
So
just like,
I'm gonna
all right,
take 1 cred from my.
I vendoed you last time. You didn't ever. You still owe me that Taco Bell money.
Oh god damn it! I forgot about that.
Terrible food.
I'm not
Taco
super
Bell.
liquid right now.
After
Liquid
eating
is
Taco Bell,
right
it was
after
pretty
Taco
good.
Bell.
Graves, never.
That's
never say
very
that in front
accurate
of
for
me
Taco
again,
Bell.
please.
Graves just picks up some loose rocks and chews on them while you guys debate this stuff. This is better than Taco Bell.
If only you rammed in was capable of thinking outside the bun.
Praxis takes out a cred. You take out a cred from the ship
Yeah.
stash and
Taco
hand
Bell
it
is
to the
canon in our
collectors.
universe.
And they do you are you subtle about it at all, Praxis? Or are you just like, here's 2 cred, go on your way, please?
No, I think I put it in like I have like an envelope that I put the cred sticks in, but then I like kind of like jingle it as I hand the envelope over, so it makes like a lot of noise. And just like, I believe this is for you. You may have dropped it on your way in. See yourself out and enjoy your spoils.
The one that's in charge kind of opens up the envelope and pulls out the little data stick. I did drop this. All right. It looks as though this collection has been taken care of. Thank you so much for agreeing to what the Starsmith Guild demands. We will let them know
Excellent.
that we have collected your hyperspace drive.
Thank you, Goodman.
Mm-hmm. Have a good day.
Yeah, good work out there, gentlemen. I shut the door behind them. God, what a bunch of douche.
So far, that is my least favorite entanglement because it's literally just you lose money.
Well, we could have fought them off. I mean, we could.
Well, yeah,
I thought about it, but they're like the highest tier thing in existence, right?
So I was,
no.
I mean, they are not the
Or, yeah.
Starsmiths Guild. They are just
Ah.
a collection agency on behalf of the Starsmiths Guild.
I still love how clean this is, you know?
It's pretty good.
I could pop some heads, but like, stuff tends to go badly over time if you do that.
Mhm.
Why get your hands dirty when they can stay clean?
It's true.
It's true. I mean, I like this because it's like, I think you've bought yourself some more time, right? I think inevitably the outcome of fighting them off is going to be the same as paying them off, but it just might take longer for the Starsmith Guild to catch on.
Because
To the
they're
fact
happy, yeah.
You're
yeah.
still
It's not like some immediate investigation into these 2 collectors who were scheduled to meet with us and then
Mhm.
died, you know, or
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I need a break, so I'm gonna head out. I'll see you guys later, and go to gamble
on
Ah.
to the
the
casino.
You
Oh,
take the ship.
Are we? We're still
we're
at the
still
Asteroid.
on-
I forgot about
Yeah.
that. No,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry. Well, because
gamble with you.
the collectors showed up, and I was just confused.
Yeah, they were on Slice's junkyard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Almost like they knew where you'd be.
Almost.
How disconcerting.
Well,
I got work I gotta get to, so
yeah. See you later, cuz.
all right.
Stay safe out there, and probably I don't know, change your name again.
Das it is.
He switches between the two.
Yeah, he just I was like, you were Das like 2 years ago.
He presses a button and a little banner goes over Slice's junkyard and now just says Dice's junkyard.
Change those letters.
Yeah, no,
I was
the
gonna
neon
say
for
pizza.
the S and the L go out, and then just neon for a D.
Yeah.
All right, well.
All right, well, come back sometime. I'd like to thank y'all properly for getting me out of that. That was pretty hairy.
Yeah, you're in a pretty rough situation. I mean, to be fair, it is kind of my fault that you were in that situation.
I was gonna say they told me that I stole an experimental hyperdrive blueprint engine, and I definitely did not do that. So
yeah, it was a bit of a case of you know, that just makes me up with you, I think.
Gears, you're telling me you stole experimental hyperdrive from the Starsmith Guild? Is that why you came back? Is that why you left school?
Well,
I'm gonna
yeah,
go wait on the ship.
pretty much. Well, you know, I didn't like it at the school, but also I thought they might be upset when I took the blueprints for the hyperdrive.
Is Slice an older cousin than you are or younger?
He is slightly older.
He's older. Okay, perfect. Gears, that is completely irresponsible.
Yeah, but
What were you thinking?
It's a really cool design. I mean,
I almost got put in jail. They could find our whole family. They know it was you now.
well, they know I saved you.
Graves picks up Slice and just starts carrying him a little ways away from Gears. And it's just like, you are grateful for your
Totally,
life.
I am grateful. I am grateful. I don't want the rest of my family to get put in.
But nobody else.
Put me down. Put me
nobody
down.
else in the family is going to be in danger. Technically, I'm kind of confused as to how they even know I have it, and I feel like they don't know for sure that I do. And once I do, it's not really, or well, once I figure out the blueprints a little bit more, it's not really going to matter because
You don't think that any suspicions they had that you did or did not have it might now be like solved by you coming to rescue me for the very thing that you did?
I don't know why that would, because I just saved my cousin. I mean, that's
Graves slowly puts him down.
Because your cousin allegedly stole experimental hyperdrive blueprints.
well, for future reference. I would have saved you regardless of if it was because of something I did or not. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they know now.
I'm just saying. I don't think you've quite thought this through, Gears. And I think you've put our entire family in jeopardy. And I think you have to solve it and rectify it. I won't tell your pa, but you might want to consider telling them. Who knows what's happening there?
Well, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for that. I'll see you later, Slash.
He will
How's your
change
walk?
his name to Fears. We will start a new life.
Good, yes, good.
They will forget this.
Oh my god.
Gears, you always know I've got your back. I'm also always going to be there for you too. Be careful, all right?
Yeah, I always am.
All right. Well, hop on back sometime. I'd like to thank y'all properly.
All right. Yeah, and just walks away.
Where do you go?
We have
Brunch.
nowhere to go. Brunch.
Go to brunch, a little boozy brunch.
I mean, you want to gamble, right, Gears?
I would like to, yes.
I don't need to be anywhere in particular for the things I want to do, so let's just head to a casino.
Let's go to a spaceport. Or
Ooh.
a space station.
Where's the
Yeah.
nearest space station?
'Cause hopefully one that is in Holt or Bracket.
So Slice's junkyard, I believe, is in Holt.
Perfect. So what is in Holt? Let's check this out.
Is it? No, it's in Iota. Well, actually, I don't know if we've ever placed it.
I don't think we ever placed it. Because we're
I
from
think we-
Iota.
There are other junkyards in Holt. There are also a bunch of shipyards in Iota. So I think in either one of those places it makes sense.
Let's throw in Holt,
Okay.
the official location of Dice's junkyard.
Now, if you got to Holt, you would have had to get past Maelstrom as well.
Did we need to roll something for that? Or?
I mean, I think there's probably going to be some sort of role or interaction with Maelstrom. They're not exactly fans of you, and they control the gate to get into Holt. So,
Oh yeah.
Cool.
We heard about that on
Cool.
if
like
if
CNN
it's in
last
if the shipyard is in, or if the junkyard is in Iota, that's close to Amarith. It would have been really easy for you to get from Amarith to Iota.
All right. Well, then it's an Iota. Whatever.
I'm all right with that. Wonderful. So where are you headed? The nearest space station is... Let's see. There isn't a ton of space stations in Iota, at least officially. There's probably something over Indri, which is where like most of the manufacturing happens in this sector. Otherwise, Nightfall's not too far.
I was going to say, if you don't mind going to Nightfall, there's actually some contacts I wouldn't hate being able to talk to there.
All right. Nightfall it is. And take the con and drive us to Nightfall.
Wonderful. What do you do when you get on to Nightfall?
Well, now I'm actually leaving because this time I'm on a different planet instead of still at my cousin's shop. So yeah, I just go looking for a casino to blow off some steam.
Go for it. Indulge that vice.
Indulging. That's my lowest attribute, which is 2 now.
Hey, look at that.
Oh, nice. 6.
Hey, look at that. That's pretty good. 6 stress, huh?
Yeah, this time I did not knock myself out.
I was about to ask. I was like, I think he's definitely got more than 6 stress, but
I actually had 8, so I was very close to
getting out.
getting out.
Amazing.
I was riding that line.
Praxis, what are you doing?
So first things first, I need to revisit the university here.
Yes. Yes.
and find my old professor friend.
Yeah, that same one that you and Graves talked to.
Yes.
I don't remember if he was named or not. So, but you find
I think
him.
he was, but I have lost my notes every time. Every time in between recordings, I lose my notes.
And I just didn't write it down. And that's all right. An unnamed professor.
Yes. Good evening, Professor. I could use a little bit of help if you have a moment.
Yes. What are you looking for? I remember you. You were with that the goat. Yes.
Yes, the Ramden. Now, I would love some help. I've been having a few encounters recently with people who seem to be adept with the way. And I know that I've heard of devices which are capable of harnessing the way. And I was wondering if you might be able to point me in the direction of any books or texts that explain just how those devices were created.
Wonderful. What is your intent with this? Are we training? Are we starting a long-term project?
I'm going to start a crafting project.
A crafting project. Very interesting. You are trying to... What are you trying to craft?
So I want to craft basically a device that would look to most people's eyes like a watch or a bracelet, but would allow Praxis to more easily sense and harness the way. Basically kind of trying to cheat code his way through using the way.
Interesting. Okay. A watch that open. Okay. Like, just open up yourself to experience the way easier.
Yes and no. Like, my idea for this would be that the watch would emit like a physical response when he's in an area where like the way is easier to access.
Oh, okay.
And basically, but like the watch itself or the bracelet or whatever you want to call it would be designed to be attuned to the way, and essentially, even in an area where the way is not particularly easy to access, it kind of acts as part divining rod, part amplifier.
Okay. All right. I'm picking that up.
But are you putting it down?
There's a distinct possibility that my attempts to design this will be utter failures because I'm not particularly adept at study or rig, but I want to try.
Yeah. Let's go with that. I've got a good handle on what you want it to do. So I've already asked you what is it and what does it do. I tell you what the minimum quality level of this item is. I think we're looking at a quality of 4.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be pretty difficult to create.
Yeah.
Because this sounds like the type of thing that, like, if it was easy to create, there would be a ton of them out
Right.
around.
Yeah.
But this seems pretty difficult. What complexity do you have to overcome that keeps this design from being widely used?
I think there's a couple of factors. Like, one, it is like the design of it dips into metaphysics, and that's a hard thing to study. But then on top of that, it requires, in order to tune it correctly, it requires a certain level of attunement to the way to begin with. And so, and most people who reach that point would rather just continue studying and access the way without cheating, as it were.
Yeah. I like that. I think maybe even potentially not even a certain level of initial attunement, but at a certain place. So there might be a physical place that you need to go to like essentially infuse all of this way energy.
So would that be the drawback?
Yeah, let's see. So what drawbacks does it have?
It runs on AA batteries
You have to use AA
Yeah.
batteries for it.
from planet Earth.
The reason I push towards the drawback thing is because like the question 3 implies that I've already overcome whatever that initial difficulty is.
Yeah, that's why. So with the crafting, I'm looking at it now. Like basically, you have to design it first. I think is a long-term project, and then once it's designed, then you get to the assembly. So I'm asking this question ahead of time, even though you haven't technically designed the schematic for it yet. I just would rather get all this information, now, and then you can kind of know what you need to get into. I think the drawback. I think the drawback is that it is rare and unreliable. So you're gonna have to. There's going to be, when we get to it, there'll be a rare material that you need to create it, and it does not always attune to the way perfectly.
Rare
Would it be
and
interesting?
unreliable.
I'm just throwing spaghetti out here, but would it be interesting if the rare material was the same one we discussed way at the beginning of the series that the Romdens cherish?
That's pretty fun. That's
Like
pretty
our
fun.
planet our moons got mined for it.
Yeah,
We'll still have to find it and get it. But
Well, that's the thing is like, and this is not that doesn't. I'm not saying that this makes a wasted downtime, and I'm not pushing you to change any of that. But if it's unreliable, and the assumption is that I need to reach a certain level of attunement with the way to begin with to even make this project viable, then the unreliability makes it feel completely unworth it. And so I think at this point, Praxis abandons the project.
For sure. Let's because I guess what I'm trying to figure out is like what, other than just sort of playing around with the effect and the position, are you expecting any mechanical benefits? Like you're not expecting like an extra dice to attune rolls. I think it would just affect the effect essentially, or the position.
So what I was gonna propose was that like attune that there would be either like a bone, like a standard, like just like some sort of a bonus, a buff to attune.
Yeah, I think
because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Like, why am I making it? Like, if it doesn't do anything.
I don't like the idea of creating items that just give you an extra dice to something. I think that gets around.
Continue.
I think that gets around
effect.
The effect would definitely it would be increased effect. Yeah. In other words, your ability to attune has a greater effect than it would be with someone without this watch.
Johnny is thinking.
And I'll tell you,
I'm just debating because, like, I mean, like there are plenty of moves throughout the game that added dice to like specific rolls and things like that.
They're moves. They're not.
Yeah,
they're
but there's plenty of hoops I'm having to jump through to do this. Like, I don't see it as being like. But I think there's already been enough hurdles presented that it doesn't feel like a worthwhile project to practice. So we don't need to discuss it anymore. I'm pulling out.
I do. Well, I feel bad.
I mean, there could also be you can make it be a more like, rather than just you get +1d to attune rolls, it could be like a more specific, like, no,
it's fine. It's genuinely fine. Like, I think that like I was doing this because this is the sort of thing Praxis would do to try and shortcut the fact that like training takes a long time.
Yeah.
And so
I think what I
not
don't
going to be a shortcut for training, then it's not worth Praxis's time.
I think my stance would be that if we create a shortcut for training, why would you not just take the shortcut every time? What's then now the point of training?
I get what you're saying, but like I think my pushback on that would be that like there are some trainings that doesn't this sort of thing doesn't even make sense for. It's a really specific isolated case, and it's very in character for this character to. It
is very in character. Because in my head, what I basically equate it to is like to Gears's fine hacking tools or fine ship repair. It would be like a fine way attunement, like a fine divining rod, essentially, which would then give you increased effect.
Yeah. I mean, so here's what I'm saying, and I don't need you to feel bad. I don't need you to I'm saying I wanted to design an item that would do a very specific thing. You're saying you can't design the item to do that thing, so I'm not going to design the item.
At least the mechanical thing that you were hoping would get out of it.
Which is what the thing is, yeah. When you design a thing, it does the mechanical thing you want it to do, and if it can't do the mechanical thing I want it to do, then I don't want to design it.
I will try and meet you halfway, and I will just say that the drawback is rare, but you will not get the extra dice.
Okay, and I'm still not interested in meeting halfway.
All right, okay, that's fine.
I think it's also in character for Praxis to drop out at this point, and that's why.
Yeah,
It's starting to be like, this is too much work. I give up.
He's like, oh, fuck that. Yeah.
Well, and not only it's not even just that it's too much work. It's that it doesn't make the thing that he wanted to make easier on the other end easier.
It does, though. It increases your effect.
It makes so it makes the thing that he wanted to do on the other end better. It does not make the thing he wanted to do on the other end easier. Increased effect does not change my chances of rolling a 6.
I get it. Yeah, it's a different concept. Yeah, only if you succeed will you see the benefit, and you're trying to succeed more easily.
He wants to be able to succeed more easily.
Yeah, I'm more interested in more success, not better success.
Preach. We need to start a dudes only podcast now with hypermasculine energy where we say stuff like that on repeat. I want more success.
Succeed
success.
Better.
Not just greater success.
I don't want to belabor the point. I'm curious what the rest of you think. Do you, as players, do you think that if we created an item that just gave you an extra die to an action, how does that strike you?
So I was talking about earlier how if it was just the +1 dice to attune rules, then I understand it. But that's just but looking at the certain moves, right? Like Graves is Predator, take +1 dice to rolls against weakened or vulnerable targets. It's a specific situation, right? So it could add a dice to an attune roll for Praxis, but in a specific interaction with the way, right? However you guys want to word that.
Yeah. Or even the flip side, I would even be if I could get an extra dice, but because I'm shortcutting, kind of almost the inverse of what you were saying, Justin, where if I'm using this item to get that extra dice, it diminishes the level of effect.
I think to make it a little bit more even, you can also always. I think I like Danny's idea for it being situational. So it only works. Maybe it's a fortune roll, and it's only helpful in those because Johnny was talking about how.
Well, that's what unreliable is. That's why I said unreliable to start. Unreliable means in order to use it, in order to get that extra die, you would have to roll a fortune roll.
Okay. I think that's a good start, and then I think it's also just something that he's got to. I mean, I think something that we're forgetting in balancing this is that items you have to have load for items.
Yeah.
And if we're really concerned with how powerful this is, we just make it 2 load.
2 load. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Yeah, okay. I hear you all. I think then if you want that extra die, it is rare and unreliable.
Okay. No deal. I will continue to move on. Okay. Because I understand.
That seems fair
already, to me. Yeah. I'd already expressed unreliable was a deal breaker for me. So
for sure.
Okay. All right. That is fine. Is there another action you would like to take?
Not
Now that-
anymore.
We spent. Well, you still have a downtime action.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take your downtime action from you.
I just don't have anything else I want to do.
Oh. I mean, there's long-term projects. There's
Mhm.
We are on Nightfall, and when you acquire
Yeah.
an asset on Nightfall, you roll Consort instead of Crew Quality.
to acquire an asset. Yeah, could acquire an asset.
Can I acquire a way to build what I want to build without all these fucking interruptions?
I'd like to acquire an expert on making way items, such as divining rods.
I am going to stand my ground. I am the one that gets to add the drawbacks. If you wanted to have an extra dice to attune rolls,
Yeah.
I think it's
No,
something.
I think
is-
maybe I will throw a pitch to you off air
Okay.
for another idea for how it could be balanced, because like the nature of what it is trying to be unreliable just doesn't it defies the nature of what it's supposed to be in the first place.
Well, I think the way is inherently dangerous, and it takes years to train yourself to attune to it, and so trying to shortcut it.
And therein lies the point. Like, so I
know,
get
but
what you're
trying
saying.
to shortcut it, you're able to attune to it easier, but it's more dangerous because you
right.
are
So
not
unreliable
trained in-
doesn't give me a sense of danger, though. It gives me a sense of like I can't. Like, unreliable is sometimes I can't do the thing I built this thing to do, versus saying like if it was like it always has diminished effect, and like I would even take like every single time it could be normally it would be great effect if it was a straight attune roll, but because I used the device, it's limited effect, and I'm going to take one harm doing it. Like it hurts me to use it or something like that. Like I would be open to any of that sort of
or you
thing.
take stress or something.
Or stress, or all of the above, if it reliably did the thing that it's designed to do.
I am limited in the drawbacks that I can add to it.
Well, I mean, you're limited because you're saying you're limited. You're the GM. You can change anything you want to at any time.
For sure. In my head, unreliable is not that the device itself is unreliable. It is that what it is trying to access the way is inherently unreliable.
Okay, right. And so, like volatile, I would have been open to volatile, rare and volatile, but even rare, volatile, and conspicuous.
Ooh.
I want to reward interesting things. I will say it is rare and volatile.
Woohoo! This is going to be used later as like a masterclass in negotiation piece.
Here's the thing. I'm a fucking softie too. Like if you yell at me enough, I'll roll over onto my belly and
Justin, you better give me a MacGuffin right now.
Yeah.
we can do whatever the hell you want to do.
Just wait, next
All right, hear me out.
next
I know it's
I'm
Scum
gonna have another
Villainy,
special ability.
but I want the sword that has Lico's spirit in it for Graves.
I can't let you have that. I can't let you have that.
I'm just messing.
I said you have to yell.
You'll get it.
You have to yell at me enough.
Justin.
Well, now I feel bad.
Oh, you shouldn't. You shouldn't
No,
at
guys. I feel bad. Just let me take it all.
I don't feel
I
bad.
think-
So
I
I just
think-
want us to be a happy family.
I am happy. I see. This is the thing.
I'm just messing.
I'm joking. I love trying to like work through these rules or not, and I think it's an interesting case. And like, obviously, the players are gonna want like the maximum amount of like things from something, and I think the GM's role is to try and like add complications, add obstacles to getting that maximum thing. So you can have a +1 dice to attune. It will be volatile though, and you'll have
level
to get
3 harm every time you use it.
And well, no, and that's the thing. I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm. It's just a consequence, so it's gonna be situational. I'm not gonna say like every time you use it, this is gonna happen. It's gonna be you're interacting with the way. Who the fuck knows what's gonna happen when you
The plague will
try and
progress.
shortcut accessing this mystical energy.
Yeah. Well, and I like that.
used
I
it,
like the idea too. Like that works for me because like what I'm trying to this device is meant to mitigate the unreliability that is naturally inherent to the way and to learning how to use it. And so of accessing it. Yeah. And so having it not only not mitigate but maybe even amplify some of the unpredictability of touching it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I think in my head it's like you're now able to access these energies. You don't necessarily have the control that somebody who is trained their entire life has on accessing that energy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That makes perfect sense. And I think that fits with exactly what I'm trying to go for with Praxis.
Okay. I would like to also state that I think a lot of times crafting doesn't always necessarily have a mechanical component. Sometimes it is intended to create like position and effect, better position and effect. That's not to say it can't always have a mechanical component. I think in the future, I would love to know ahead of time if you're thinking about crafting something, so that way we can maybe work on some of this stuff offline. So that way everybody is happy about whatever device you are trying to make.
Oh, I'm happy about the device he's trying to make. Just to be clear.
I feel good about it now. I feel good about it.
I'm furious.
I just want to say that I won't be happy about any device anyone tries to make now and the future of this campaign.
Okay.
Good.
And so in order to make my schematic, I need to study
Yes.
as a long-term project.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And so it's an 8-segment clock. And so what do? I just roll with study?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I also completely forgot how in the very beginning of this, Johnny stated how it's very likely just going to outright fail.
Yeah, I mean, I have 1 pip in study, and then when it's time to build it, I have 0 in rig.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not expecting to
That'd be a good
succeed,
time.
which is kind of like,
Maybe you always
But-
convince Gears to do it.
yeah. Well, I
I
rolled
mean,
a 1
he's shown
for my,
himself crazy
my first
before.
study
Oh,
roll.
no.
Ooh.
All
The
right.
clock is there. It
The
exists.
clock is there. I think it's just 1 on.
Mhm.
Let me just. Yeah, it's just 1 segment on this schematic. It's troubling you, which makes sense, I think, in this case. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's still something that you're like, how the fuck do I make this?
Yeah.
And you make a little bit of progress on it.
Mhm.
Little bit.
I'm excited for that,
It
though.
probably doesn't even really feel like progress right now.
It does not. No, probably does not. I'm so sorry to you all players and to the listeners that we talked so long about that.
Be sorry.
I am
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
Hey, no, that was a great example of how to navigate a GM player.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
disagreement.
sure. For sure. Absolutely.
great.
For sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's
true.
the thing, right? Like that's going to happen at every table.
Every
Um,
single table.
Every single table. Like I said, I think the players are always trying to push and get more and more and more, and the GM is, even if you're not thinking of the GM as inherently against the players, your job is to make things difficult for the players to get more and more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, there we go. We've got the project. We're happy with the mechanics of this watch. It will be after you've designed the schematic that we will talk about what is the rare material that you need in order to actually create this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain Dew.
Rhodium.
An old Mountain Dew. I believe then that means all of your downtime actions are over.
Yes, they are.
We are now in free play. You can go to your contacts. You
We
can
can
try
move
and
about
find a
the
job
cabin.
for yourself. You can move about the cabin, but I reserve the right to turn on the fasten seatbelt sign if we run into turbulence.
I won't listen to it. I'm never putting on my seatbelt.
Okay.
We will shoot you with rover bullets, just so you know.
Great.
Can I have a job to find Havoc, please? Not that Mordecai isn't great. Would have really appreciated a pilot.
I mean, we
Not
haven't
that I
really
didn't kill it, just to be clear.
We haven't really decided where Havoc is, Danny.
Yeah, I don't mean to if we need to take time for that.
I mean, Nick said start a, so it's not something that we
Long-term
need to decide right now.
32 segment clock. Find Havoc.
No, I'm gonna rephrase that. It's not something I'm gonna decide right now.
Well,
that's fine.
what I meant is maybe Havoc is not free. Maybe he's captured by someone somehow.
Maybe Havoc is
In-
dead.
Maybe Havoc's dead.
I just keep him in a locker.
In which case, if that is the case, Danny, I think then trying to find Havoc would create an interesting job for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, it's been a while. It's been like 2 jobs.
Mhm.
Gears is
It's been like a month and a half since we've seen.
yeah. Gears is not worried. He's not worried about the guy. Whatever. He's just, I mean, he's like cute and whatever.
Me-
but, like,
Meanwhile, Praxis is talking to Graves in private, and he's like, "So, have you noticed that Gears is just laying in Havoc's bed, weeping every so often?"
No, I hadn't.
and like he brings up Havoc at meals to say that he is like not concerned. He's like, yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Havoc, but like, who cares? He's probably fine. It's whatever.
I think every time you do, Praxis says something along the lines of like, "He's probably been arrested and or killed by now." Just like not helping.
Just, like, yeah, just cuts. He's like,
Graves
wait, really? You think
nodding in agreement.
Should we be more worried about that? But yeah, I think at this point, I think Gears is going to go to Yatu for a job and mention to the crew, hey, Yatu has had some pretty good jobs for us in the past. I was gonna go, and we're quite frankly very strapped on cash, so I figured we'd go see what he has to offer, and also maybe ask him if he knows where Havoc is.
Okay.
I'm worried about him or
All
anything.
right. Yes. Well, we're there. Hopefully, we can. Well,
Was
I guess
Mordecai
we're
just
more
party
powerful.
boying in the corner? Was
No, Mordecai's doing his daily stretches. This is all he does is stretch.
Hey, Mordecai? That's really, we're talking about some pretty serious things here. This is very distracting.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm gonna.
I think we're all eager to be rid of you, Doctor.
I haven't minded having a doctor on the ship. It's
Yeah, Graves is actually a little surprised and just turns to Thorn. I'm picturing us all in the mess hall still, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, I thought
I
it
mean,
was
he's
fine.
pleasant enough. He's just not particularly competent.
I mean,
I apologize. I haven't been able to operate at your standards, and I hope that I can perform better, maybe in future jobs.
All right.
At the,
Remember that conversation we had about not speaking until you've been directly addressed?
yes, you're right. I'm gonna.
that might have been a little confusing, I guess.
Anyway, I, for one, am eager to have Havoc back.
Right. I mean, we don't. I don't feel any two ways about it, but it'd be pretty good to have the pilot
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I know that you've been, completely unconcerned with his whereabouts, but I think talking to
Right,
Yatu is a good
right.
idea.
Yeah. Also, we thoroughly need a job.
Yes, we do.
Painfully.
Desperately.
There it is.
We need it bad.
Yeah, I guess I could have just said that.
Succinctly put, Graves.
Yeah, there is something to being more efficient with language. So we announced ourselves. We like call into his office,
For sure.
like, hey,
For sure.
Yeah, so we don't interrupt a weird massage or whatever
Yeah.
happened last
for the
time.
love of God.
Him being painted.
He's not doing anything weird this time. He is expecting your meeting, so he's sitting at his desk.
It's just having a tantric swing session.
Oh my god.
All right, so you got to pay by the hour for these things, and I paid for 3 hours. So I'm just trying to get the most out of this swing that I
Yes,
really.
you have to get your money's worth.
Yeah, absolutely. Does anyone want to join up here? You ever done a swing?
Mind.
All right, wonderful.
It's been
Hop on board.
ages.
We'll talk business. What brings
Swinging next to each other.
what brings the crew of the Montresor to the old Bornico Syndicate? You know, we should really figure out which one it is. Is it Bornico, Bornico?
I like
mean,
Bornico. I think that's pretty good.
Bornico. All right, hey, make a note. Send it to everyone. Bornico.
I just like not changing it. So
We're solid.
Do
Yeah,
what
we're
we do.
solid. We're solid
I'll
on
be
it now.
doing.
As long as we get that locked in, I think we're good. Anyways,
You changed the whole thing to the Knights of
Kieran's
Thorns.
just looking down, like he's not looking at the two of them swinging back and forth. He's just like looking at the ground. Yeah, so we needed we were just looking for some work. I wondered if you had anything for us. Also, we were a little curious if you'd seen Havoc in a while. We haven't heard from him. Not super concerned, just wondering if you knew where he was.
Let's roll a fortune die.
To see which high-level faction Havoc's captured by.
Please no. Can we
Two
tell us
ones.
what faction our
Three,
level
just
once? Still hasn't happened. To be clear,
Let's see. What's the highest level, the highest tier faction?
that we've pissed
Ah,
off.
the Guild of Engineers.
Yeah,
We're
the
friends
Guild
with
of-
Never mind.
We're doing okay with the Guild of Engineers. We'll see how that continues when we piss off the Starsmith Guild.
Here we go. The Church of Stellar Flame.
Yeah, they're the highest tier guild we've pissed off.
The last I have of Havoc's location, he actually did send a missive to me just a couple
so
days ago.
He called you. Okay.
He did call. Sorry, I said I was going to tell you if he called, but you called to set up this meeting, and then he called, and I figured rather than just tell you, I'd wait till you got here. And tell
No,
you.
that makes sense. No, I'm not upset at you.
Yeah, it's okay. Gears has been terribly unconcerned.
Gears is just
Oh.
jealous.
He said that he was investigating a hegemonic news network satellite that's orbiting Warren.
Is it
Last I
particularly fast moving?
Yeah, no, normal satellite.
You just don't usually hear Havoc and investigate in the same sentence.
It's true. It's absolutely true. That's why it was a little concerning. It's also more concerning that I haven't heard back from him. Although that's classic Havoc. So, it's possible everything went well and he's on his way to do something else. Or something absolutely terrible happened. But of course, you're not concerned about that, so.
Yeah,
Once I
never.
thought he was on vacation for a month and he was just in his quarters on the ship.
It's Havoc. Sounds like Havoc.
He came out with a full beard and everything.
Oh God, who are you?
If you are, I do have a job. We are trying to, obviously, you know that we have control of the governor. Unfortunately, the clone obviously doesn't have his memories. So, we're trying to find the schematics and the blueprint for his house on Nightfall.
Oh,
There is some delicate information on a computer in his house on Nightfall that we're interested in.
We were just there.
I might have an inn there, so works out.
Wonderful. So if you could either get the schematics, or if you wanted to just break in, you by all means feel free to do that.
Yes. Well, I mean, depending on how much cred is involved, we might be able to do both.
Well, if you break in yourself, I'm not really interested in the schematics. The schematics are so that we can break in.
Well, if we give you the schematics and you need to break in after we've already done the job, then we've got them. Consider it a gift. We'll need the schematics to break in anyway.
If you get the schematics and give it to me, we can discuss payment after that.
All right. Yeah. I had many a tantric swing with a niece of the governor, so it shouldn't be terribly difficult.
This is just a friend swing, by the way. Just want to make that clear. I know there's a thin line for us, but as of right now, it is on the friend line.
The idea
course,
that
of
they're
course.
both sitting right next to each other, their heads are just
After-
turned as they're having
They're
this conversation.
Direct. There's also a good height difference too, so don't
Yeah,
forget.
yeah.
Prax
If
is
these
almost
three
looking like
were
a
into the
child
room,
next to him.
Yatu, I do like to think that maybe more could happen, but not today.
I'm working, Braxis.
If Havoc comes back finding out that Praxis
Is his new dad?
with his father figure.
Screw my dad.
My goal is to have all of your fathers. Anyway,
Oh my god!
That's my long-term clock.
God blessed. Godspeed. Oh man. Oh,
All right. I'll send you any more information I've got. It's not a lot, but I can at least tell you what you're looking for when you
Of
break
course.
in.
all right. Oh. Thank you for the employment.
Mhm.
And
Always.
whatever that was, I motioned directly to the swing.
I still got it for another 30, 45. Anyone else?
Nah, I'll let you enjoy the rest of your time. Goodbye.
Graves?
No.
All right.
I'll have to get one of these on the ship. I need to teach you all about pleasure.
I'm gonna go away in the ship. And
Yeah, when it, well,
There's
as we transition out, I just picture Graves whispering to Gears like, "What a strange device, unbecoming of a Ramden."
I mean,
but
they
you-
can be pretty fun, actually. I don't
You do hear yelling from his office, like, "This is for pleasure."
Oh, God.
Would that
Ramden
we
just
had
bought
time
a
for me
swing
to
because he
show
thought it
you
looks
everything.
nice.
Wait, what did you say, Johnny?
I said, would that we had time for me to show you everything,
oh my god.
We don't have time.
but alas, must be on my way. Yatu, goodbye.
Stay sleazy.
I really wanted you to say. I really wanted you to say Yatu.
Wonderful working with the crew of the Montresor, as always.
As we walk back to the ship, I just like describe in very explicit detail how the swing is supposed to be used.
Oh wow.
Very excellent.
Oh, Mordecai, you weren't familiar?
Yeah, maybe I should be taking notes.
No, notes. Oh my God.
Notes won't serve you, dear boy. Rent one of the swings. You live in a brothel.
You don't even. I'm pretty sure they'd just let you like practice one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
No, I know the girls there. They wouldn't just let him practice. He'd have to rent it.
Yeah, I don't get any kind of discount or anything. It's
And you shouldn't. It's real work. They deserve to be paid in full.
you're right. Yeah.
Also, I mean, like you gotta like earn a discount. You know.
I think I'm happy just operating as a doctor there. I don't really need to.
Well, it's good that you're happy that you're a doctor
Yeah.
there. You know, because I don't know if anyone else is.
Oh, yeah.
But also,
Gary's
beggars
really
can't be
not.
choosers. Beggars can't be choosers. So, are we? Where are we headed? Sorry.
Where are you at it? You've got a couple things. You've got a bearing on Havoc. You've got a job if you wanted to follow up with Yatu and the Born Eco Syndicate. Got tons of other things that you can
Yep.
do as well too.
Now, We have this job for the Bonico Syndicate, and we have a heading on Praxis. Now, if we go after Praxis right now, and I would love to have him back, but if we go after him now...
Your Praxis.
I'm sorry, if we go after
Havoc.
If we go after Havoc right now...
If you're on a journey of self-discovery, then we can
And
help with that.
I'd love to go after Havoc. But if we do, it's going to be our second job in a row that probably doesn't yield any cred.
Yeah, we can't. We can't do it.
No, I think we need to do this job with the governor's Nightfall apartment, and then, unfortunately, we put Havoc on the back burner.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on the back burner. He's not really.
That's Havoc's signature move. It's called the back burner.
That's when he blows my engines.
Is where he blows your engines out on the Montresor.
Now, do we want to use my contact or just go in guns blazing?
Do you have a mechanical contact?
So you've let me use her mechanically a couple of times, but she's not, I don't think, like on the list of actual contacts.
Cool. I don't think then you're going to get that extra die in the engagement roll.
Yeah, that's fire.
But you can certainly narratively use it. Absolutely.
We love good narrative. Well, what? Okay, wait. What system? What system are we in?
You are back.
Well, late fortune.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're back on Warren, so you're in the Rin system. Nightfall is in Iota.
Yes, we just came from Nightfall to Warren, and now we're from Warren back to Nightfall.
Okay. All right.
And then from Nightfall back to Warren.
So Nightfall is in
system.
Iota.
Is in Breck.
Breck.
Oh, is in Breck. Okay.
Nightfall's in Breck.
Then I'd, not super against being loud if we wanted to. At Breck.
Sure.
Go a little nuts.
Been a while. Mordecai's homeworld's also in Breck.
It's been a while since I visited the governor's niece, and so it probably won't be a pleasant visit considering how long it's been since she's heard from me. So we can just skip that. Just go directly to the apartment.
Yeah, we could. I mean, so wait, what are we getting from the apartment again? Sorry.
You'll get a message. You'll get a message from Yatu that says that in the basement, protected by a bunch of security, is a computer. And on that computer is a file on the Aleph key.
Aleph key.
Aleph key. He would like all the information on that.
Yeah, it's hard to work without the memories of the guy that you cloned, so I'm sure they're trying to dig up a bunch of stuff.
I will also point out that your last job, because you waited until House Malcleith had slice, has bumped up House Malcleith to a -2 status. You will be at war with House Malcleith after this job.
That's a problem for tomorrow, us.
Yeah,
That's exactly right. I'm just giving you all the information up front.
Should we try to smooth things over with these factions? Or are we just going to be at war with them?
As long as I'm part of the crew, there won't be any smoothing over with Malcleith for now.
Part of the ship.
All right, I'll take it.
Part of the ship.
I mean, I'm not saying
Mark,
I wouldn't like to smooth things over, but Aaron's there, and he hates me more than anyone's ever hated anyone.
Should we just kill that guy? I feel like...
I would love to. What do you think I was trying to do when I blew up half of the Maelstrom auction?
That was
room?
pretty cool. You did that. It is
It's like a
unfortunate.
cockroach. He refuses to die.
Yeah, the worst problems usually
Whoa.
do.
Something shifts in Graves' face, and then he just kind of like contemplates, looks out the window of the ship. I'm gonna make a note that I want to kill that guy myself.
You guys see in the corner of your screen. Graves will remember that.
Graves will remember that.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Here's the thing.
Sorry. What?
The only thing right now standing between us and the things that we need are the people in that building on Nightfall. I say we just go there, take care of what we need to take care of, and then find our friend.
Sounds good to me. Hard and fast. Probably the best way to go. And then we can get to finding Havoc faster. I mean, like, not that I'm in any rush. But it's just,
No, of course not, but it'd be nice to find him faster.
Right. Anyway, I'll set the course.
Perfect.
Beep boop beep boop boop. Course set.
What's that? Nightfall.
Dr. Mordecai,
Yes.
are you prepared to kill people on this mission?
Part of the ship, part of the crew. Sorry, I saw that in a hollow film once. Yes, I will.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Sometimes I
I
worry
may have-
they're
I've-
near useless, but there we are.
I may have taken an oath, but maybe I can find a loophole.
What are
There
oaths
you
if
go.
not meant to be broken?
Yeah.
Build people.
Wasn't he like trying to keep people alive, like avoiding killing last time? I maybe I'm misremembering, but in any case,
Hmm?
we need to
It
kill
was,
many.
it was a joke, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was mostly a joke.
He did help us keep that maid alive in the first job.
Mhm.
That was intentional. We wanted that to happen.
Yeah. She was a maid. She didn't deserve to die.
No, not at all.
I mean, I suppose.
Graves
she
just
didn't
puts a
the rest of her life,
blaster in Dr. Mordecai's hand and says,
Oh.
above all else, do harm.
Oh. Yes. Yeah. I
to
took a
those who
different oath.
deserve it, I click on the comment. To those who deserve it. Just to be clear.
Or those who are not
Right.
particularly deserving, but are in your way in the moment.
That too. Yeah.
Mhm.
A murder of convenience, if you will.
Yeah, pretty much.
All
Those would
right.
make up most of my murders. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you would know. You killed both all my friends, and you have threatened to kill family. So,
That's right.
Your own family, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
Yep,
think it
I
was
think I
your own
said that.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, that was off air for those listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
for those who lack
That
context.
was just today, listeners. That
That
was
was just today.
within the last
About
2 hours. He's threatened
lot
to kill
convenient
his family
murders.
and claim that he killed all my friends.
He's threatened
So-
to kill his own family, and he's claimed he's killed all of Justin's friends.
I want to be the only one left.
If there's no one left to
And
fight,
your-
you have nothing
And
to
your
fight.
friends and my family's getting in the way of that.
He's working really hard to make sure that neither of the two of them have anyone else left to turn to.
Yes.
Soon, very soon. You get to Nightfall. What the fuck do you do on Nightfall? What do you do to prepare for this job?
We case the joint.
Okay. Which one of
Load
you
up on
cases the
guns.
joint?
I think I'd like to, if nobody else wants
Okay.
to.
I will accompany Gears.
Okay. I love that. This sounds like you're like watching it from a distance, and I think this might be a gather information role.
I think
I
there's
actually
some-
like the idea. I have this like picture in my head of Praxis like putting on like his best stuff and kind of hanging out in the lobby of the building with comms with Gears like on a private channel. Gears is like watching outside and Praxis is watching like the movements inside.
Okay. Okay.
There's a lot of that, and there's also Gears doing the old maintenance man routine and
Okay.
getting not necessarily like in the building because Praxis kind of already has that, but trying to get
Mhm.
blueprints for the building and the buildings adjacent to it.
Okay. This is helping me. So, your question is, how do I get access into the building from the adjacent buildings?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool, and maybe also a general idea of personnel. And
I just want to
I
check
think
the
we're asking
meaning
two
of
different
something.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So I don't know if this is relevant or not, but whenever for Predator, which I have as a special ability, it says take 1 die to rolls against weakened or vulnerable targets. Whenever you gather information on a weakness or vulnerability, the worst you can get is a 4 to 5 result.
Yep.
It's too much of a stretch, as far as I can tell, to apply that to like a building. Like it's targets, but I don't know if targets just means like humanoids. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see.
Trying to get your sense of if that works.
I think in this case, Predator might look like something like you tailing someone that works there and beating the shit out of them.
Ooh. I accept. But we should also let them do their roles. I just wanted to see if that is important to the gather information process.
I'm gonna subsume Gears and Praxis working together as like trying to get the same thing, right? Like
we're all trying to gather information.
Yeah, I'm mostly putting myself into the same place to make sure that if Gears needs like a help or action, I can provide that.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
So
this feels so Scooby-Doo. It's like everyone split up, do your own thing. You two, you go this way, and like we'll all try to get clues on this place. And Graves is like, I'm just gonna beat the crap out of that guy.
This is an episode of Scooby-Doo I haven't seen before.
I think I need an action roll.
You haven't seen that episode where Scooby beats the shit out of the Harlem Globetrotters?
By the Harlem Globetrotters.
Roll. I'm coming for you.
School.
Pretty good.
Just like the generals win.
Gears, I need an action roll from you.
I figured. I think it's like a study, like trying to figure out, from the plans and from the buildings layouts and stuff, what I can do with this information.
And I will help.
Yeah.
So I get a die.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can also help. I would also accept a setup as well. This also seems like it might be a setup.
Oh, for
if Praxis hits the roll, it would improve the position.
Which would you prefer? Do you feel like you'd rather have the? Well, I guess let's find out what the position and effect are, right?
Yeah, can we do that first?
Sure. I think with the study in this particular sense, I think it's limited. I think there might be better actions for trying to get around and find this information. If you're like observing the building and or trying to like get inside and see like bits of it. But study, I think, is fine. I just think it's a bit limited.
What do you think? Sorry, where is your? I'm confused. Where you're thinking? Would be better.
I would. This is just my opinion. I think Skulk might be a little bit more.
Oh, that makes sense.
Pertinent in this situation, and might give you a little bit better information.
Okay, in that case, I would like better position. I would like a setup roll from Praxis.
Okay.
You are inside of the building posing as a nobleman. What sort of action do you think that is?
Yeah, so I think I would use consort. I'm like trying to have like conversations about people about their comings and goings and what kind of things are like, and kind of posing as if I'm like thinking about buying an apartment here myself. But...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. I think that's standard effect. We'll say risky position.
Cool.
Still the risk of being discovered, but I think it's
got a 6. 1-6.
Great. So increase that effect. You are still going with study then?
Yes, I am sticking with study.
Okay. Then I think we're looking at a standard effect.
Okay, standard effect. I will. I'll push myself for greater effect. Wait. What is my position? Sorry.
It's not entirely important unless you're trading, I guess, and then I need to know like what you're doing to make it desperate. I still think it's risky. I think it's risky standard.
Risky standard. I'm not gonna push myself.
Okay.
But I think I am gonna trade, and I think the way that I'm swinging it is like Gears essentially like breaks into these places. Like he's like checking out like the basements and like any possible connections or like shared like maintenance kinds of like hookups and that kind of stuff. Like he's in danger, and more so than normal. You know, he's kind
I love it.
Really getting in there.
I love it.
So desperate
and great.
Great. I really want a good start position for us here. Come on, little baby. Five.
Okay.
What is my consequence?
Yeah, I think. Do you want the information first?
Yeah, let's hear the information first.
Okay. You find that when you break in, there are a couple things that you are going to have to address. The first is like obviously just the guards.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of security down here protecting the governor's assets. The second is that in the storage areas, there are what are called anti-optic fields. So it doesn't quite confer invisibility on the items there. It's as though your brain has trouble focusing on what is present.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It's not invisible, but it's just like you have trouble being like, what actually is this? I can't tell.
That's really cool.
Item this is. So
you do think of Forget Me Not in the X-Men, just like
it's a little bit like that. Yeah, you're gonna have to find the computer in the midst of that. The last thing is that the information, while stored on the computer, is actually stored in a virtual environment. So you're going to have to find a way to jack into the computer itself and obtain the information from inside of the computer.
Like virtual reality?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Cool. So we're bringing the fine hacking rig on this one.
I feel like that is definitely exceptional details.
It is.
You can ask any follow-up questions if you would like.
For the field, do I know if there are like emitters we can destroy in the room, or is it more like a system that I'm gonna have to like counter more directly?
Yeah, I think it is I think it is a system you're gonna have to counter more directly.
Okay, that's fair. That's pretty much it.
See if there's any tantric swings.
No, I'm not gonna. Whatever.
I mean, there's an anti-optic field. How would you know? There might be.
There could be. There
could be.
Tantric swings as far as the eye can't see.
It's actually just mostly a sex dungeon, but
Sex dungeon
we turn
with a
it off.
computer.
We turn off the eye thing, and we're all just like, "Oh my god!"
Oh,
That's
Lord.
why they bought the emitters. They're like, we can't have
It's
this
actually
being.
very, very disturbing to think about a sex dungeon with an anti-optic field in it.
Oh, I don't want to think about that.
What did I
I
just
don't
step
want to
in?
think about that.
I don't want to know.
Any other follow-up questions?
I think that's it. What are my consequences? What am I dealing with here?
I think your consequence is that in one of these break-ins to get this information, you are caught by someone and they chase you. They don't see who you are. And I'm trying to decide if I think security is tightened a little bit. Quite a bit, actually.
They're
anticipating.
Resist.
How do you resist?
So
Is it possible for me to fictionally assist the resist, not mechanically?
I don't think so.
Because I was picturing, I was going to ask, like, can Graves follow that guy, beat the crap out of him? Because that could be a way of you resisting the consequences. But I know you have to do the roll.
That could be my resist is I just lead him to Graves. Sorry.
Oh. Okay. I accept. I think then in that case, we are looking at I think we might be looking at an insight. I think you are deceiving this person into thinking that they've caught you, when in reality, you are actually leading them into a trap.
Yep. Cool. Roll. Four. So two stress.
2 stress. Yep. 2 stress. You lead them down this alley, and they. I feel like in my head it's that scene where like they turn down and you're at like the end of a cul-de-sac, or like it's blocked. Yeah. Your back is to them and they point their gun. They're like, turn around right now.
I turn. Actually,
what were you doing in the governor's basement?
Hey, very good question, but I think you should turn around first.
And the camera's just gears looming over him from the back.
Graves.
Yeah, Graves. But it's all good.
Graves. Sorry, Graves.
This show takes the cake for the most confused we are about our own names.
I
think we've done a fabulous job.
You're all changing your names constantly. Half of you have like the same almost name.
Sorry. It's not intentional.
I really don't know what the fuck my problem was. There's no reason for me to have been saying Praxis when I was trying to say Havoc over and over again.
Because you had lost that part of yourself, and now we've lost Havoc. So
there it is.
Because there's slant rhyme potential, you know? Yeah. It's
Graves, what do you do in this moment?
I think I just bear hug the dude and crush him. So I'd like to still get some info out of him on my gather information.
I was about to ask, what are you trying to get?
Oh, for the info?
Yeah.
We haven't heard about the best way in to the building, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. That is an absolutely great question. Okay, what is the best way into the building?
Yeah.
I think that this is probably an action roll. I think this is an action roll.
So is that different than gather information, or is it just a...
So a gather information can be either an action roll or a fortune roll. I think in this case, because
okay, I see.
Doing something instead of just having information passively come to you, I think it is an action roll.
Okay, and does this count then? Does it satisfy your idea of gathering?
Oh, absolutely. For sure.
Okay, on a weakness or vulnerability. All right.
Yep, absolutely.
So the worst I can get is a 4 to 5. That's great. I think the action that I'll choose for this... I don't know. I could see an argument for scrap, because I'm literally squeezing the information out of him.
Certainly.
So yeah, I'll try that.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say he's yet considered a vulnerable target, is he? Or do you think he is?
I think so. I don't want to the semantics.
Just because we got the jump on him?
Absolutely, for sure.
Okay. Cool.
So
that's 4 dice then.
I think you're looking at a think you're looking at I might even honestly say great effect and a controlled position.
Ooh, Justin.
I think so.
That may be the
Just
first time I've ever had that.
I'm picturing the scene, and I can't imagine what a single guy that was jumped by Graves could do to either of you in this moment.
I'm just giving him a hug, Justin.
Yeah, I'm
All
just
right,
here.
I'll just
to be
roll.
clear.
I'll roll 4d6. All right. 5 is the highest. I'll take the 5.
Okay, so 5 is the most. The best way in. There are. He's like, fine, just put me down. He's constantly throwing parties. There's constantly parties happening. If you slip in, we won't even know who you are, and you'll be able to sneak around much easier.
Little extra squeeze. When's the party?
There's one in a couple days. It's I don't know, like a bunch of bigwigs from the medical community coming in.
Thanks. I snap his neck.
Oh,
I was gonna say.
Let the record show that I was vicious.
You were very vicious. I was gonna say clarifying and follow-up questions are possible, but you have now killed your source of information. So.
Oh well, that's fair. All the more, there should be a cost when you lean into your trauma.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely.
That's great.
I love it.
I
Can
thought
this
your
party
party was
be a
viscous
masquerade
the entire
party?
time.
Viscous. Steve, you got real messed up. Now you're like a really thick liquid, man. You just molasses in June.
A thickwid.
I just thought you were slowly turning into milk.
Thick liquids.
All right, friends, you've got I think a few entries.
Options.
I should say too that you also find that there are tunnels that connect, like some waterways essentially that connect some of the other like adjacent mansions.
Yeah, so we can.
You would ask specifically about that, so I know that as well too.
How well known are those tunnels? Are any of them?
Yeah, I think they're probably not known by like the greater populace, but like I would imagine the security, at least the head of security, might know a little bit about them. But they're not like used, and they don't really patrol them. We'll say that.
All right, so I've got the plan, at least the entrance part. Two-prong assault, okay? Praxis and Mordecai go into the party as like members. Can it be like just for the aesthetic? Can it be a masquerade party?
Oh, of course it can.
Awesome.
A medical masquerade.
Oh yes. We're here to talk about business, but we're also here to have fun.
Yeah. We're also here to
what-
jump on the
what you
tangent.
said-
Eyes wide
big
shut
wig?
situation.
Yeah.
Since you already said big wigs, what if it's a masquerade but it's wigs instead, and there's a different kind of wig?
There's also wigs. Anyways, Mordecai and given his medical experience and
We
Praxis,
tell Mordecai that people are wearing wigs to this party.
yes, big
Oh,
ones.
I'll find my best wig. My best one.
Fantastic. So you two go in just like normal party goers, normal deal, and then Graves and I will enter from the building adjacent through the basement and the sewer system, blow into the basement, take it from there. You guys can come down like your lost party goers, we just turned around, and then you shoot the guy, and then you get in from the other side.
I think we're getting a little too into the weeds with
Right.
the explanation of this plan.
I love the whole plan, though.
I was trying to
love it.
explain how both prongs were still assault because we
Yes.
love a
had framed it as-
multi-pronged
Yeah.
plan.
Again, you can just be like very general and be like, there are two
Oh.
prongs. These two are going in from this way. These two are going in from this way. That is enough for us to say, great, that's starting to sound like we need to come up with
Alright.
a plan. Because
I didn't.
you'll all talk about the actual specifics of
Yeah.
like, here's how we're getting
The
it.
party, full insertion, 2 holes.
Absolutely.
So
Assault.
infiltration.
That is
Full double infiltration. Yep.
double infiltration.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Sounds like a
what
plan.
what is the plan? Assault,
We're really going to
deception,
gangbang this one out.
Assault.
assault,
We're
deception,
assaulting.
infiltration, mystic, social, or transport.
Definitely assault.
Do we want to go assault? Yeah, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is what
Hell
we said
yeah.
beforehand, because that's where
Okay.
I was. Okay.
That's fine. It just means that a lot of the focus then will be on Gears and Graves, us actually assaulting. Down.
You don't know what I have planned for this party.
I don't. You're right. You're right. I don't. All right. The point of attack, I feel like you have already given me, which is the sewer system. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
At least for Graves
Wonderful. Graves and Gears.
and Gears. Yep.
Okay. Let me just see, because I wonder if Dr. Mordecai and Praxis are. There's like rules for like when they start talking about 2-pronged attacks.
Hmm.
Here we
It'd be
go.
interesting to see what they developed for that.
So they
Linked
full
plans. Okay, I like that. Oh, I think in this case the diversion is a setup action that Dr. Mordecai and Praxis are going to perform. So this is on page 154. The diversion is a setup action that a team member performs as part of the plan. A successful setup action can improve position for teammates or give increased effect. An unsuccessful setup might cause trouble for the second part of the plan. An easy consequence is to give the engagement roll 1 die. If it makes sense, the team members who perform the setup can drift back into the main operation and join the team later so they don't have to sit out and wait. So I think it's just a very like overhead view of like how successfully Dr. Mordecai and Praxis insert themselves into this masquerade party and flit around.
I very genuinely have a plan that does not involve simple insertion.
Okay.
Um,
Then that is maybe sounding like the diversion is its own
Don't we
plan,
all?
engagement, and operation.
maybe I think it would still allow us to. I think it would still be set up, and it would set things up for Gears and Graves, and allow Mordecai and Praxis to join them.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much away of like what I'm imagining.
Let's just play it out then.
Awesome.
Let's just play it out, and once it feels like that scene is leading to its assist in setting up the actual plan and the actual engagement, we'll get to that.
Cool.
Play to find out, if you
We'll
will.
play to find out.
All right.
It is the day of the party. Praxis, Dr. Mordecai.
Smashing wig, Mordecai.
It's like a massive, like, white
Tory, like English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Victorian wig. He goes, I hope this is enough.
It's just like a
Ev-
French
Why
Revolution
are you-
era like bouffant thing.
Yes,
going.
exactly.
Where's your wig? Why are you wearing a mask?
Oh, I've decided to go a little more understated. It's okay. You look wonderful. I'm going to be the one out of place.
Oh, okay, all right. I get it. Yeah, you don't want to be
Walk up.
noticed too soon.
You walk up and the attendant
Precisely.
also has the mask on.
Oh,
Do you have your invitations?
Oh, my goodness. I seem to have left my invitation in my apartment. So if you don't mind, I mean, why would I be wearing these masquerade things? And his wig, he got so dressed up. Do you mind
yeah.
terribly?
Mordecai will turn around and flip the wig over and turn back. So now it's like a long bearded mask. He just has it on his face and his eyes are peering through the hair.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I think this is an action of some sort.
Yeah, I'm going to. So I want to do consort.
Yeah.
But I will also. I am going to like pull out like a cred stick and kind of like put it between my fingers, like kind of twiddle it between my fingers
Sure,
as I'm
for sure,
talking to him.
for sure,
sort of
for sure.
thing. I mean, it wouldn't harm anything if you just let us in, would it?
I think
5.
we're looking. Oh, I didn't get.
Oh, I didn't even get position
effect.
effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
He's just excited.
Uh,
just a little.
He's excited. I
I'm
know.
just
He got a
excited.
5.
I'm just excited. Let the man roll.
Come on.
I think it's risky and standard.
Okay.
So you'd get into the job. With a 5. Yeah, I mean, I think that with the added addition of a bribe, there's a sense in which they'll let you in, but now they've kind of got your eyes on you.
Cool.
So I'm gonna create a clock. I did not sign into our normal clock thing, and I don't really want to right now, so I'm just gonna take a note here.
Okay.
I think it's a 6-segment clock.
For whatever it's worth, too, I think I would have tried to like get us here like fashionably late, so that the party's already
Sure.
relatively full before we arrive.
That's totally fine. Yep.
Cool.
That's totally fine detail. I don't think it changes much.
Okay.
I'm gonna mark off 2 on this clock.
Okay.
Obviously, the clock is Dr. Mordecai and Praxis discovered.
Mordecai, at a certain point, I'm going to give a toast. It's important that when I do so, you exeunt the premises. Do you understand?
I believe
When
I
you
do.
hear me, when I clink my glass, excuse yourself and leave.
Oh, okay. I'll say I have a bowel movement.
Do not say that to anyone at this party. Mask or no.
Okay. Okay. I won't say I have a bowel movement. I'll say I don't have a bowel movement.
Wonderful. I cannot wait until Havoc is back. Right.
Dr. Mordecai, tell me about Judah.
Judah, I
Your
believe.
rival.
Yes. So Judah is a professor from the Kalud, the university on Shemaiah
Okay.
that Dr. Mordecai went to.
Okay. Okay. What's that rivalry?
When I was thinking about it, I couldn't really think of anything specific. I was like, this professor probably has a reason to have it out for Mordecai, but I don't know what it could be. I know the faculty at the Kalud had issues with Mordecai's family
Okay.
in general.
Okay.
Maybe it could have been the work that they were doing in the mines for some reason.
Mhm.
Maybe that was
Mhm.
interfering with something the Kalud was doing.
Okay. I like that. It sounds almost like Judah might be a little bit more of a corrupt doctor.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I like
you
to think of
recognize-
the Kalud as a corrupt university.
I love it. Would you recognize his voice or her voice or their voice or whatever their pronouns are?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. When you get into this party, you are stumbling around and you stumble into a figure that is wearing it is a mask of a desert creature on Shemaiah. It's got these like long tusks, almost like a boar, but like a rougher, like hippo like face essentially. Built for like digging in the sand and sand tunneling and whatnot. And you bump into this person and they turn around and they go, "Oh, excuse you." And you know that this is Judah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just looking for the bathroom. I have a bowel movement.
Oh, so who let this one into the party? And the doctors around him go, the bathroom is over there. Absolute fool. Clean yourself up and remove yourself from our presence.
I will do just that.
And as you're walking away, you hear him say to his other people around, say like, "Excuse me, I have to go prep for my presentation now."
Judah says that?
Yes.
Okay. This makes Mordecai substantially more nervous because there's someone who may recognize him at this party now. Uh-oh.
I just love that his bag of tricks was like, I still gotta use the poop thing. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to say.
Doesn't have a whole lot going on up there.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, probably not too long after that, I want to stand up on some piece of furniture and like something that puts me up above most of the room and clink my glass like I'm wanting to give a toast.
Okay.
And then Mordecai says to himself this time, I have a bowel movement. And then walks away.
I would like a action roll. Is this
Sure.
the type of party where you can just call for a toast at any moment? We shall find
In high
out.
society, you can always call for a toast. I'm gonna sway.
Okay. I think the position is risky. And I think the effect is actually limited.
Can I trade?
You absolutely can trade. Desperate and standard.
Works for me.
What do you do to make it a desperate action?
I mean, I am risking my social standing and their willingness to listen to me beyond this point by
Yes.
standing up and doing this.
Okay. All right.
A 5.
Okay. I am going to mark 3 more on the clock of you being discovered.
Okay. So is that 5 out of 6? Is that how
That
many
is
is on the clock? I can't
5
remember.
out of 6. Correct. That is 5 out of 6.
Okay.
And
then-
there's a moment where like no one's really paying attention to you, and you like keep clinking and get everyone's attention, and eventually everyone kind of like looks at you.
Gather near, everyone. Gather near.
Hurry up! We have a presentation in a second.
What do you think is happening right now?
You're not the doctor presenting.
I'm wearing a mask. You have no idea who I am. In any case, allow me to suggest something to the lot of you. I think it's imperative right now that you all recognize that every other person in this room has it out for you. And the only way for you to make it out of this room alive is to enact violence upon those around you.
Jesus Christ.
And I want to try and use side dancing on the room to make everyone fight each other. And
That's around
Ouch.
my little minions.
There's like
Yes.
I've played with you all now for so long. There's like I know that if there's a move or an ability that lets you create like mechanical things, Nick's gonna take it eventually. If there's an ability that lets you like lie and deceive and convince people of things that obviously would not be true, Johnny's gonna take it eventually. Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Well, let's work through this first. It says it works on a small group. What are you envisioning that means? I envision a small group being about however many people were in that command center, so like 10 or so.
Okay. So I'd assume there was at least slightly more than that in that command center because of like I always picture like 15 to 20 people on like the bridge of a ship like that.
Sure, that's fine. I think there's still more people here.
Sure.
Than were in the command center.
Okay. How many more do you think?
I mean, I think there's probably easily 40 or 50 people in this.
So if I basically mark like to do this move twice, would you let it go through? I could roll twice too, so it's like rolling for each group that I'm trying to influence.
Yeah, I think that's what I was gonna say. Is I'm okay with you marking more stress to make them do this.
Okay.
That means that then you are not marking stress to activate that they only have vague memories of the event.
Well, I have enough stress available that I could do all of it to both groups.
Okay. All right.
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay. I do think I want 2 rolls then in this case, and I'm okay with.
Okay.
We'll just take them both and then consider how well you affect the whole group.
Okay.
You might affect half of them really well and the other half poorly.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me actually get dice that are a little more distinct here, and I'll roll all 4 at once.
He's grabbing his dice that only have
Actually,
6s on them.
Here's the thing. I'm not wearing. I'm wearing a mask. I think I'm not going to worry about them having vague memories of the event.
Okay, sure, that makes sense. Yeah, sure.
All right.
Amazing.
Okay.
Position and effect.
Oh, yeah,
I
sorry.
think you're good. I think it's risky, and I think we'll say standard. We'll say both are risky standard.
Risky
Okay.
standard.
Risky standard. All right. So I already rolled, and it's incredible. It's such a good roll.
It's
Say
like 5.
more.
3 out of the 4 dice are 6s.
Oh my god.
Double crit.
So technically it's a crit on. It's a single
One of
6
them.
on one group and a crit on the other.
Yeah, crit on the other. Yep, I'm with you. I'm tracking. So this is so interesting. Because someone else is affected as well. And it is connected to the presentation that was coming up, and I think that's where we're going to end on. You say this, and you see the way kind of cloud their vision, and they start turning to each other and starting to like rip the masks off and like claw at each other's chest and rip them apart. And then you hear a very loud sound. It sounds like titanium being like completely demolished. And out of a side room, with their head lowered, just breaking through the wall, is Zelrek. And he begins charging. Zelrek is the Ramdan that used to be called 160, the scientist.
Oh.
What the heck?
He
Ah.
begins just mowing down these people,
Yeah, these nerds.
pulverizing them.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Hey, maybe we can get a ship's doctor since he'll be, under arrest.
I think in the midst of this mist of red blood, we will end today's episode.
Jesus Christ.
And I think here's what we'll do. I think we're gonna start next episode. We've got the 2 prongs. I think that's enough for the engagement roll and a significant distraction. So I think you will definitely get a die to your engagement roll. But there's obviously other things that need to be dealt with at the party now.
I forgot we never even rolled the engagement roll.
It's just free play, baby.
We're
Amazing.
pre-gaming a little,
You're pretty game.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for listening, and we'll rebroadcast this on Wednesday. So come hang out with us if you missed it or just caught bits and pieces of it here and there. And thanks so much for listening. If you're interested in supporting us, you can do that in a number of great ways. You can go directly to our Patreon, patreon.com/Dustfire Media. That is one of the easiest ways to support us at $1 a month, which is like if you gave up a single coffee, you would have $4 extra in your month, which I think sounds like a reasonable bargain. And you get access to our Patreon exclusive show, The Forge, where we play like 2 or 3 games a year. Right now we're in Trophy. Danny is GMing that. It's so stressful. It might be the most stressful game I think I've ever played in my entire life.
Amazing.
For $1 a month, you don't even have to give up one of your coffees. You just have to get a smaller size one time
Just
in an entire
steal
month.
$1 from someone else.
No.
Just take it right out of the
It's
tip
just Scum
jar.
and Villainy, but we shouldn't advocate.
No, not at all.
In the spirit of Scum, go steal $1 from
Steal a
someone
single-
undeserving.
No, seize the means of production. And
Actually.
yeah, actually,
Well, that wouldn't be the act of Scum. That would be the act of
heroes.
Heroes and
He was
Valid
greater than a
actors.
hero. He was a union man.
The other thing you can totally do, and this would be a huge benefit, is to leave a review somewhere.
Mhm.
Please.
yeah. Leave a review. Follow
Those
us
are good.
a number of ways, or just email us, or hop on our Discord and
Yeah,
ask me,
that's great.
and be like, Justin, how do we support you best? And I'll give you a huge list of things. I should say too, in our Discord, and I believe on our Instagram as well too, there is a what is the word I'm looking for? Not a contest, but like an award.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, Justin, your audio is cut out.
Yeah, you just cut out.
It should be back. Can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An award what?
Because I opened up Discord, an award show.
Oh.
It's called the Crit Awards. It is for indie TTRPG content creators, whether that's making a game, whether that's an actual play. Please hang out in our Discord. I have the link there. The link is also on our Instagram as well too. In fact, I could probably just drop the link here. It would be we would love it if you could nominate us. There's a bunch of different categories. We think that we fit quite a few
Yeah,
of them.
Steve is eligible for all of them.
Steve is eligible
Specifically,
for
Steve.
every single one of them. So
So happy to hear that.
Help you.
please nominate Steve.
Please nominate Steve.
Please nominate Steve. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Nominate Steve.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.